The summer Montana harvest is more than just sitting in a combine. It's actually a whole lot more than that. And although it may be a little bit loud in here, producers from across the state submit samples to grain labs, where those grain labs then grade the crops for a better market value.
So what we're looking for in peas is defects and damages, overall quality of the grain. More or less, any type of cracked seed coats is a defect.
It's peas, mustard, grain, and everything in between that comes through the Montana State Grain Laboratory.
The role of the grain lab really starts with the Federal Grain Inspection Service under the USDA. That was created to enable the implementation of fair grain sales across the world.
Dan Riemer is the director for the Montana State Grain Lab and is responsible for the grading certification of Montana pulse and cereal crops, a certification that is compatible across the country to ensure a fair market for producers.
Overall quality so far this year has been awesome. We know that it's been down a little bit because of the drought in the last few years, but what we've been seeing coming through right now, I'd say for the most part our averages are number ones. Malt barley's looking amazing.
Adam Gutzweiler is an agency quality assurance specialist. His job, along with others, is most important.
So in particular, my job is to more or less look at the overall quality of the inspections, make sure that we're following FGIS standards, and trying to, at best of our capabilities, guarantee quality grades and overall turnaround time.
For a discouraging past few years, this year there's something to smile about.
We've seen that the yields for at least even the peas on the eastern side of Montana are back to at least normal size. We are dealing with grasshoppers still. We have seen kind of a decrease in certain areas where some areas are still kind of fighting those. But as far as like our winter wheats, that's where it's exploded this year. It's awesome for the wheat farmers.
The process is relatively easy. They divide each crop out into tins like that, and then in that machine like the one behind me, they test for moisture. Following that, they move it into one of these big loud machines that clean the crop from any chaff or debris, and following that, it moves into the lab for the grading process.
Over 700 samples we processed last week, which is typical for an entire month in the off season, like April or May.
And those samples will continue to flow in, helping farmers for a better return on their product.
These guys should be very happy with what they got this year.
In Great Falls, Ryan Gamboa, MTN News.